Welcome back Behind the Dirt. We're going to do that match of the week here. I'm going to give you a couple things that, just a couple options. There was some really, it wasn't the most scrambly match, which is good for a change, right? Because, we're kind of getting typecast a little bit as just all scrambles, but there's some stuff that we can kind of throw in there that maybe you've seen before, maybe you haven't, but at least it gives you a couple different options, all right? First things first, truthfully, I forget whether it was Blanton or Asper got in on a single leg, and the defensive man did a good job of closing the door, what we call closing the door on his head. So if Paul takes a single leg on me, okay, and I stop the initial attack with one hit, what I'm trying to do if I'm trying to score is I'm going to close the door on his head. Now, the defensive man in that situation did a real good job of closing the door on his head. Right from here, okay, the one thing that I see a lot of as far as offense goes, you see some of the Russians doing it. And the nice part about this finish is that you can do it against a super funky guy, and they won't be able to grab your ankles. There are some drawbacks to this finish, being that you're not as strong there. But you're going to come out the back door, but you're going to do it by sitting out, okay? One of the things, and it's going to be hard to see with Paul on top of me, okay? So what I'll do is I'll kind of do it once without him. Okay, if I have the leg in this hand and I'm posting up with this hand, I'm going to kind of dog leg this one up, and I'm going to shoot my foot right through so that I'm kind of kissing my own knee. Right here, believe it or not, I'm pretty strong here, all right? Because I have my leg underneath me, I can pressure back pretty easily. Now, keep in mind, he's going to be, he's going to have a leg on either shoulder here. So what happens is, the good news is that I'm in better position than he is. The bad news is it's easy for him to break my position, so he can't kind of pull me backwards. So you want to try and stay in a ball here as much as possible. Okay, so if I get in on a single leg and I'm deep here and he starts to kind of close the door on me, I'll post either my elbow or my hand, and I'll kind of dog leg this one up, and I'll sit all the way through until my foot or my knee is right underneath my face, and now I'm here. Okay, now this position, believe it or not, is the exact same position that most guys drill every day when they're here. It's the exact same position. The only problem is you're not as mobile, right? So, but the good news is there's no way he's going to be able to get to those heels to kind of catch a funk roll. All right, so whatever finish you do from that at the back door position, do it here. Whether it's push-pull, whether it's pulling down, stepping over for a turn, whatever the case may be, whether you swim through, whatever you want to do from there, do it. But it's just a different way of getting to the position. And again, it does have its drawbacks, okay? What happens here is when I sit through here, he feels uncomfortable. He starts to walk forward on his hands, and now I've got to be ready to catch and wrestle. All right? Ideally, I don't allow that leg to hit the mat again. Easier said than done. Okay, somebody got into a Sativ hook. If you haven't watched anything on Verbasar Sativ, you probably shouldn't be watching this. Go home, do your homework, okay? Paul is way better at that back hook or that Sativ hook than I am, so he's going to run you through some offense there. It was Blanton that wound up there. Go ahead.
So the way he got it was, one guy was in, he took a real good high crotch, and they ended up, he had both of his legs, and he was in on a crotch sock here, right? And then from here, honestly, I would try to grab this ankle and pull it in, okay? So now with this hand, I'm here, with this hand, I'm here. So if he tries to circle into me, because of the inside of his knee, it's kind of facing down, it's going to be hard for him to come all the way over, right? Here, okay, he let go and came into him, and when I forget who was here. He came up here. His arms were extended here. This is not the best spot to be in right now. Okay, even with 2 arms on the one leg, it's going to be hard to really pull this in, right? So you really want to catch this with basically your elbow band right in the back of his knee, right here, okay? Whether you got to pull this in and chuck your knees in, you want to catch this here, right? And if he keeps on extending this out, you can take the hand that's around the leg and try to hook your own knee right here. Pull it in, hook your own knee. Okay, now, even if he keeps on pulling that back, this hand is right here, holding out. Okay, now, right from here, I'm kind of going to do the same sift through motion with the outside hip, right? I'm going to pull on my outside hand, and as he starts to circle into me, I'm just going to sit right from here, okay? Catch, try to hold the bottom of his foot here, and this hand can come and swing over his body and pull right back into it. Definitely the worst place to be is when you're really extended out here. Now you're trying to muscle it in, jump your knees through. Okay. Once you can get that, make sure he doesn't pull those arms back out again. All right. Grab your own knee pit. Let him, sprawl back, circle, whatever he's going to want to do from here. Then, as soon as you feel it, pulse in your outside hand and bring your opposite hip right through. He'll fall over and then come up to here.
Good. Do it again. Go, Peterson. We got a guy that does that real well at college. He's just constantly, every time he takes that shot, he's waiting for you to go behind him just to back up that leg. So that's the offense to that satif hook. The defense there is, look, keep it simple, all right? A lot of people are starting to use that back hook right now, and not many people are really defending it all that well. They're kind of turning it back into a scramble. Now, can you get the other side? Yeah. Okay. Here's what I want here. Can you come over here? Okay. Here's what I want. Perfect body position. Okay. My left hand here is going to stop his butt from following me, right? Like he said before, his job is to keep his arms short. My job is to extend them. I'm going to start punching him in the ribs here, all right? I'm going to keep my body position perfect. Now, here's where it gets a little bit interesting. If I keep my body position perfect and I circle all the way in front and he lets go, he now has a single leg. That doesn't help me, okay? So what I want to do is just pinch his arm together with my legs. So if any of you guys have seen Bronx Tale, I always use the line from Bronx Tale. Now you can't let go. Now you can't leave. All right, so I'm going to pinch my knees together, keep my hips down, and I'm going to make it real uncomfortable for him and just walk to here. Now he wants to let go. I'm not going to let him. All I have to do is take this hand, tricep block, and chase down. Okay? It's probably the simplest finish that I don't see anyone else doing. Okay? Punch in here. This hand is free right now. Keeping the hips down, but I'm pinching my knees together. All right? And now I'm just going to walk myself out until I feel his hands break. This hand now goes in the armpit to stop him from chasing me. Hips down.
Sure, what we're waiting for. Asper now in a position to score. Trying to run his hips in.
Towards the end of the match, they got into this position right here. And they did what 90% of college and high school wrestlers do, was they either find the out of bounds or they break up. Maybe there should be a slip rule. I don't know. But I think it would promote a little bit more aggressiveness when you're chest to chest. I don't see it as much. I mean, you know, Reese Humphrey was big upper body. You know, you just don't, like, unless it's a perfect, you know, lap drop situation. The guy Z from OSU is real good chest to chest. But there's just not, you know, enough wrestling from there. It's more of a stalemate position right now. So what I would say, maybe it's because people don't know what to do there. All right. So I think it was Blanton wound up in here. All right. Look, there are some ways to finish here and not really be in trouble. Right. Like Paul's taller than I am. Right. Even though he's taller than I am, I can kind of step in the center here and pull him onto me. Right. Kind of pull his body weight onto me, and now all I have to do is pivot. All right. And that doesn't take, you know, the hips that you need to back arch and throw, and, you know, like a guy like Reese Humphreys can do, right? You don't need to have super great hips like that. All you need to do is step in and pull his body weight onto you a little bit and just turn. Pivot. All right? If you got the overs, okay, if you got the overs, step, turn, and look, get comfortable for the first, you know, first 150 times you're doing this. Just go here. Just fall. It's more to do with the footwork than it is to do with the throw itself. So if you kind of get comfy, you know, just loose, 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 step, step, and fall. You ain't got to launch them every single time if you're drilling. Get comfortable drilling in there a couple times. And then once you get comfy, you can kind of let it rip once or twice. All right? That's behind the dirt. Cut it.